This is the Commerce Show. Make Commerce Show way. Comrade Lante Oriake. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the Commerce Show. Make Commerce Show way. Comrade Lante Oriake. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the Commerce Show. Make Commerce Show way. Comrade Lante Oriake. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the Commerce Show. Make Commerce Show way. Comrade Lante Oriake. Live.
Okay, yes, very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are joining us from. This is the Commerce Show. My name is Comrade Lante Ikmomusa Oriahi. And I am a citizen of the United Kingdom, United Kingdom of Benin, primarily, I'm an Edo person, and secondarily, I'm a Nigerian. And actually, today's topic, borders on the issue of the kinds of people we have. I came across a video, and I found the video very exciting, and I found the message highly instructive, and I thought that it's worth sharing and discussing. Today is Saturday, the 24th of July, 2021. And along the lines of the message in this particular video, something happened yesterday that I've married into the situation. Commissioner Usaze Ero, the former Commissioner of Arts and Culture, Edo State, some time ago, I think around 2019, had a problem in Italy. He was imprisoned. There were so many speculations all around. In the course of last year's governorship election in Edo State, people did use his own story as a narrative, against the governor of Edo State. There were a series of speculations and all of that. But gladly, Commissioner Ero is out. And yesterday, an interview he granted to Arise Television surfaced, where he did clear, the air, and of course let the whole world know exactly what happened from his own perspective and all that. He talked about the Benin artifacts as well. He talked about his own story. But most instructively, he talked about a situation right now in Italy where more than 300 Nigerians are languishing in Italian jails. Many of them unjustly. And nobody's asking after them. Nobody cares about them. And yet, we have a government who is supposed to care for Nigerians. Now, his own story pushed me to want to look at this environment. It's an environment I've looked at previously. But I try to make some, a deeper look into it. And I can tell you, from what I found out, that we have thousands of Nigerians across the world languishing in various prisons. Many of them for crimes they probably did not commit. But we may never know, because nobody comes after them, nobody looks after them, nobody wants to know. Nigerians are just being docked in prisons at, at will by many of these countries. Particularly again when we have a country that on a daily basis is earning herself a bad name. I shared an experience with you. About 4 weeks ago, I traveled to Spain, and because of this COVID restrictions and everything, there are rules coming up on a daily basis, guiding travels and stuff like that. And so I was asked at the airport to fill a form. It's like a passenger locators form, in Spain. And if I don't fill that form, I will not be allowed to fly from London. And so I filled the form. There was a segment of that form that asked, but the form was written in in Spanish language. There's a form of a part of it that asked for, origin. You understand? So I filled Nigeria there, and all of that, like country of origin. Yeah, I think that was what that particular part, it asked for. So by the time I got to Spain, having passed through the checks and every other thing, then some people just pulled me aside. The COVID-19 control team. Why did they pull me aside? They pulled me aside because the form I filled indicated that I am coming from Nigeria. I told them, so I'm not coming from Nigeria, but that form, my interpretation of what was asked there was country of origin. No, they said what they were asking for was where my flight was originating from, not where I am from originally, and stuff like that. I said, okay, I didn't know that, but I'm coming in from London. But the fact that they had seen Nigeria there, they piqued interest. And so before you know it, a lot of people gathered. And the question I asked them is, said, so do you mean that if Nigerians are coming into Spain, because they are coming from Nigeria, okay, they will be doubly checked more than others? He said, yes. I said, why is that? Because of COVID? And I told them, I was very angry. I told them, I said, you people should be ashamed of yourselves. The people who are spreading COVID right now across the globe are Europeans and the Americans. That are you aware? I mean, I just said this like, to equally try to defend my country. Are you aware there is no COVID in Nigeria? You should be happy to see Nigerians come into your country, not pull them aside because you are doing COVID checks. Now, all that is my own. But this is what Nigerians face everywhere. Okay? The ego eye is on Nigerians wherever they go. The reason is because of the kind of name we have. The kind of name we give to ourselves on a daily basis. Today, we have, without missing words, a terrorist government in Nigeria. We have a government that is despotic. We have a government that is highly tribalistic and nepotistic. Now, we have made a mistake as a people to elect people whose only ideology is nepotism. Now, I told you I watched a video, I saw a video. The video, I'm going to play a set of that video. You will not understand where I'm coming from. And I'm going to link this matter to the issue already flagged off by former Commissioner Eru of Edo State, when he talked about over 300 Nigerians languishing in Italian prisons. Many of them just there unjustly, no proper representation. They have families, they have friends, they have this, they have that, and all of that. Commissioner Eru is flagging off a case with Italy. But the truth of the matter is that Italy is just a microcosm of the rest. The same situation we have in Spain, we have in Greece, we have in the UK, we have in, the worst of it, we have in Asia, across all those Asian countries. But before much ado, let us analyze the kinds of people we have. From the Greek perspective, the kind of people we have. and the kind of people that we should allow to be leaders of states in Nigeria going forward. Because these things matter. This young man, brought these things to bear, and of course, I could identify with the issues. It resonated very much with me. It will resonate with you. Please, if you are watching, help share this broadcast. It's going to be very instructive. This is a broadcast that we must blow, beyond proportion, as it were, if it's possible. Let the world see this. And we're going to zero this matter to, Commissioner Aru's, issue that he flagged off. And I can tell you that we are going to support the former commissioner, on this particular matter. We're going to be a voice for Nigerians across the world as far as this matter is concerned. But meanwhile, let us expose the kind of leadership that we have. Take a listen. There are 3 kinds of people we have. Unfortunately, we have the most dangerous ones right now leading us. So we are not going to expect any change. But you'll see why. Take a listen.
In ancient Greece. For the Greek people, the people who in many ways gave us the modern civilized world. For the Greek people, the first kind of people in any given society are the idiots. For the Greeks, the idiot is not necessarily someone who is mentally deficient. Rather, for ancient Greek people, the idiot, they said, is someone who is a totally private person, a totally self-centered person, and a totally selfish person. They called him the idiot. The idiot, he is always out for his personal gain and his personal interests. He does not have a public philosophy. He has no knowledge, no skill, no character, and no virtues to be able to live and to be able to contribute in a flourishing society and community. He's all out for his personal pleasures and for his personal treasures. And the Greeks said that the idiot was just an upgraded barbarian. The first kind of person, the idiot. But the Greeks also said that there is in ancient Greece. For the Greek people.
So from that, from this man's, analogy, we could find, like he said, this is from the Greek perspective, that the first kind of people we have are the idiots. Not necessarily, they are different from the others in their look, but these are people who are highly self-centered, people who don't think beyond themselves. They don't care about any other thing around them, just them, okay, and all of that. Now let us know from him, but there are 3 kinds of people. Let us know from him the second group of people that we have. This is important because there is a certain group of people that must govern us, that must lead us. But we're going to know what characteristics this group of people must be made of. But let's look at the second group.
The people who in many ways gave us the modern civilized world. For the Greek people, the first kind of people in any given society are, but the Greeks also said that there is a second kind of people in any given society. And the Greeks called these people the tribes people. When we say tribes people, we don't necessarily mean the fact of belonging to a certain tribe, which is a good thing. But when they use the word tribes people, the Greeks meant a tribal and a tribalistic mentality. And the Greeks said that tribes people are those people who are not able to think beyond their small tribe or their small groups. For tribes people, their primary allegiance, their only allegiance, and their ultimate allegiance is to their tribe. Their tribe is their God, and their religion is tribalism. And tribes people, the Greeks said, are always afraid of things that are different, that are a little alien to them. They are always suspicious and fearful. And they always dealt with different people and difficult situations with intimidation, with force, and with violence.
Now, for the second group of people, I don't know as you're watching if you can identify this second group of people, if you can identify Buhari in them. These are people whose only business must be all about their tribe. I'm going to play this second group again. This is the unfortunate situation with Nigeria today. It is the tragedy of the Nigerian state today. It is an awareness we must have and find ways to dethrone. Because what we have today is not sustainable. The nepotism that prevails over the affairs of Nigeria today, the ineptitude, the wickedness, everything today about President Muhammadu Buhari and his government is about his own tribe. Now, sometimes this tribe matter may not just be, just the mass ethnic group, but his own, affinity with his own religion as the only thing that must be right and nothing else. Let us play that again. We have identified the first group of people as idiots, self-centered people who care only about themselves and all of that. This second group, they care just about their tribe. Their tribe can be their ethnic group, can equally be their religion, can be their social circle. That's what they care about. Nothing else matters. I want us to see if we can find Buhari in this second group. It's important, it's instructive, it's necessary. Let us take a look again.
But the Greeks also said that there is a second kind of people in any given society. And the Greeks called these people the tribes people. When we say tribes people, we don't necessarily mean the fact of belonging to a certain tribe, which is a good thing. But when they use the word tribes people, the Greeks meant a tribal and a tribalistic mentality. And the Greeks said that tribes people are those people who are not able to think beyond their small tribe or their small groups. For tribes people, their primary allegiance, their only allegiance, and their ultimate allegiance is to their tribe. Their tribe is their God, and their religion is tribalism. And tribes people, the Greeks said, are always afraid of things that are different, that are a little alien to them. They are always suspicious and fearful. And they always dealt with different people and difficult situations with intimidation, with force, and with violence.
They always dealt with different people, difficult situations, and things that don't conform with their own ways, with intimidation, with violence, with threat. That's exactly what they are doing to Biafra. It's exactly what they are doing to the voices calling for Oduduwa Republic. It's exactly what they will do with any voice that is standing in the way of, Fulanization of Nigeria, standing in the way of of headers in Nigeria. The certain governors, everybody, they've all called on ban on open grazing. This man has just approved the allocation of plots in his own region for open grazing, and he's calling on governors and local government councils to ensure that they do the same thing, taking us back to 1963. The only thing that matters, the only affiliation that Buhari has is his tribe. Buhari falls into the second group of people. Unfortunately, very many Nigerians today who are at the helm of affairs, the leaders of Nigeria, they fall into this second dangerous group. These people, They are people that must not be allowed to lead the state. But before we realize that this second group of people are not people that should be leaders of states, let us listen to who the third group of people are. We have identified idiots, those who are just self-centered, care only about themselves. Now we have identified those who are tribal, care about their tribe, about their social circles alone, and their religion and stuff like that. Now let's listen to the third group of people, okay, from the point of view of the Greeks.
But the Greeks also said that there is a second kind of people in any given society. And the Greeks called these people the tribes people. When we say Greeks, there was another kind of people, another kind of a person, and that was the ideal person. And the Greeks called this ideal person the citizen. The citizen. And here when we use the word citizen, we are not talking about legal status or political status. We are talking about the idea and the ideal of citizenship. And who is the citizen? The citizen, according to the Greeks, is someone who has the skills and the knowledge to live a public life, who is able to live a life of civility. The citizen recognizes that he or she is a member of a commonwealth and thus strives for the common good. That is the citizen. The citizen, yes, he or she knows his or her rights in a society, but he or she also knows his or her responsibilities to society. The citizen can fight for his rights, but always with an awareness of and with a respect for the rights and interests of others, of their neighbors, of the smallest of minorities, and of the worst of their enemies. And it is citizens, the Greeks said, that make up a civilized society. Because citizens settle their differences with civility. So they produce a civilized society. A society that truly lives up to the name, to the meaning of the name society. Society literally means friendship and friendliness.
Citizen, the third group of people. Now the question you ask yourself is, the kind of leadership we have in Nigeria today, can we confidently, looking at the description of who a citizen is, a citizen is supposed to be the leader of state, the leader of society, one who knows his own interests, but of course is able to accommodate the interest of others, one who treats people with civility, one who expands his mind and thinks for everybody, not for himself, not for his tribe, but that which is good for everybody. Can we confidently say President Muhammadu Buhari is a citizen? Of course not, he's not. Can we confidently say some of those goons around the president, they are citizens? Of course they are not. But we can affirmatively state that these people fall into the group of those who exist only for their tribes, only for their religion, only for their immediate social circle. And these are dangerous people that should be leading a state or leading a country, as it were. It's just so unfortunate that over the course of many years in the political history of Nigeria, we have always had this second group of people lead our country. Sometimes we've equally had the first group, the idiots, lead us. I am laying this, I saw this footage I've just played just now, and I think that the instruction in this is much, and it's something that we can run away with. We can begin to use to determine who become a councillor, who become a local government chairman, who become a state governor, who become members of the House of Assembly, who become senators and National Assembly members, who become presidents of a country, who even become appointed members of cabinet, of the executive arm or the legislative arm, as it were. It's important that the people who should take over the mantle of leadership and lead their people are people who we can identify as citizens. People who are selfless, who think for others, who defend others, who organize for society to be a better place. Today, the reason why I'm laying this foundation is because we have a growing problem, a problem that appears to be taking, in fact, it's not even taking any stage as far as the pecking order is concerned. Nobody's looking at it. But the issue is that we have Nigerians that are wallowing in very bad conditions across various prisons of this world. Now, mind you, I am not making a case for every Nigerian. Of course, there are some Nigerians who have acted in a very misguided manner, who deserve what is happening to them, and all of that. But even at that, the fact that they are Nigerians, should mean something. And the only value that Nigeria can have as a nation must be placed on Nigeria by Nigerians. Today, we have run, under this government, we have run to China more than 5 times to take loan, to borrow money. We have virtually opened the Nigerian society to the Chinese, compromised every aspect of the nation. We have gone to World Bank to borrow money. We have devalued everything that's of value in our country. Today, one of the most insecure places in this world is Nigeria. Where life is meaningless, Nigerians just die for nothing. And yet, we have a government whose primary responsibility is the protection of lives and property. They have failed in this, and yet they are plotting everything to ensure that they continue to govern the state. To the extent that even the National Assembly that are supposed to just pass a bill where INEC has come out to say we are able to organize an e-voting system, e-collation of results system. And those that we have are elected as leaders of constituencies, as senators and reps, they are the ones who are kicking against it because they have gone to Aso Rock, they go and collect bribe. We are not unaware of this. Looking at all of these, the international community looks at us. All of these characters, they value us. They value every Nigerian. You venture beyond the shores of Nigeria, you are on your own. You are on your own. I remember many years ago, back in Spain, I went to a club. I think I had an event in that club. So something happened. There are so many different nationals in that club. Something happened. Okay? There was a particular Nigerian who came with an American girlfriend of his to that club. Something happened, police came and they rounded everybody up. Now, those of us that were Nigerians or Africans, they just put us to one side. They saw this American girl who came with her boyfriend. The boyfriend is a Nigerian. They asked the American girl to go and ask the boyfriend to stay in the group because he's a Nigerian. Because she's an American, they asked her to go. And yet, she was part of the group that they came to round up. Why? Because America has value. Very many countries, before they jail Americans for crime, they probably go through certain procedure. And the American leadership will not just close their eyes and allow their own citizens in different parts of the world to wallow in prisons. They make effort to extradite them to America. They make effort to release them from prison. They make effort to do a lot of things to defend their people. That is what we are not getting from Nigeria. We have Nigerians today who have acquired the citizenship of other countries. Now when they have issues, they call on the countries, the country they've acquired their citizenship. And the country comes. I had a friend of mine, thank God I was not in that situation. I left Nigeria shortly before COVID began. I had a friend of mine who came to meet me in Nigeria, stayed behind, and of course restrictions started. And everywhere was blocked. A journey that he came to Nigeria to stay about 3 weeks, he now spent about 4 months. The man has a Swedish nationality. On 2 occasions, the Swedish government brought a private jet, to come and evacuate their citizens from Nigeria. He did not want to leave because he had his wife with him, and his wife is an ordinary resident of the United Kingdom. So he was unable to leave his wife. That was what made him stay behind for about 4 months. And what is Nigeria doing? Now, before much ado, let us listen to Ero. He got an interview to Arise Television and he flagged this off. Let's take a listen.
But there's something very important I need to tell you. We have over 300 to 400 Nigerian youths who are in prison unjustly because of this mafia-related crime. They did not commit that crime. I made a promise to them that I'm going to raise a voice. I'm going to create awareness for the release of those innocent Nigerians. And it begins from here, because every opportunity that I have is to tell the world what is going on. And we must fight as Nigeria, because I'm very disappointed that even as a senior government official, there was no support from the Nigerian government. It is wrong. I have spoken to the chairperson on Nigerian Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri, who is very, very proactive, who is very vocal, and she's ready to work with us to make sure that those innocent people are released. It's important because these over 300 Nigerians, they have families, they have wives, they have children, they have parents who are suffering as well. So we must not sit down and let them languish in prison because of a very corrupt and complex system. So what we need to do as Nigerians, beginning from today, is to make sure we support this campaign for the immediate release of those innocent Nigerians. I don't care whatever their justice system are. The prosecutors are very corrupt, and it is proven. And they are using us for modern day slavery because the European Union are paying paying money to them for fighting mafia. We don't have Nigerian mafia. We don't have mafia in Nigeria. And I'm not against anybody committing crime. If you commit any crime, of course, do the time. You should be prosecuted with evidence and let the person do the time. But these Nigerians that are left in prison, we must speak out. You understand? No matter how long it takes, if we're going to lead a protest to raise awareness for the procedure for that. But the most important thing, like I said, these Nigerians that are there, they don't have a voice. So we must fight to release them. And there should be compensation for anybody that have been, jailed unjustly. Those people that have spent prison, those people that spend money to pay their lawyers, the time that they spend there, they should be there. Of course, there will be compensation. But we cannot do that if we start doing diplomatic process, telling the federal government to liaise with the Italian government and all that. No. We need to be very drastic about it. And I promised the prosecutor, Dr. Stefano Castanelli, that I'm coming for him. We are coming for him as a country to make sure that those innocent Nigerians are released and remove the pains on the children.
When I saw the emotions with which former Commissioner Iro, was talking, the confidence he expressed that was coming for that something Stefano, and that Nigeria was coming for him, for the man, I cringed a bit. I just hope that Nigeria would actually come for him. Commissioner Iro, if you watched the entire broadcast, the entire interview, did raise so many issues with the Italian justice system, particularly as it affects, selective justice when it's got to do with Nigerians. And he indicted the entire Italian justice system. Now, I would join Commissioner Iro on this fight. And I'm actually calling too on all Nigerians in the diaspora, particularly in Europe and Asia. This is something that we must come together to fight. Now, the hope that the Nigerian government will join this fight or will fight this fight is what I don't have confidence in. Particularly You know, when the leadership of the country, you know, they belong to the second group of human beings that we have. A group that is highly self-centered and centered around their tribe. And you know, their tribes and of course their religion and stuff like that. And so it's been aptly described. So I think that it's a matter of to your tent, O Israel, you know, and what we can do is to galvanize support from amongst our people and begin to heap pressure on the Italian system, heap pressure on the European justice system. Let the world know that there's a problem here that needs to be looked at. Commissioner, you know, Ero went through this problem, saw a lot of things. He has a lot to share. And all we can do is to support him and to support ourselves to ensure that by ourselves we are able to bring some value to ourselves. Now, this further begs the question. When you have the likes of nepotistic Buhari and his goons as the leaders of the Nigerian state, what therefore is the modus operandi to now say the likes of Nnamdi Kanu or Sunday Igboho will not arise from everywhere? You have arrested Nnamdi Kanu, you have cornered Sunday Igboho at Benin Republic. Believe me, there are several Nnamdi Kanus out there. There are several Sunday Igboho out there. They are just waiting to rise. Agitation will not stop. Agitation will not stop. Under this kind of draconian leadership, this kind of wicked dictatorship, this kind of nepotistic, highly corrupt, the most corrupt we have probably seen in the history of the country, there is no way this is not going to stop. There is no way. So, for me, you know, that is why when I started, I proudly want to say that I am Comrade Lamte Mawosa Oriahi, a citizen of the United Kingdom of Great Benin. First and foremost, I am a Nigerian citizen, you know, politically. But by birth and by inclination, I am a citizen of the United Kingdom of Great Benin. I want us to know that because this matter right now as it is, okay, the Nigerian state definitely is heading for the rocks. Many of you are not aware. The South governors met in their forum not too long ago and they demanded that the next president must come from the South based on the rotational ideology to create balance, fairness, and equity, and all of that. Do you know that some governors in the North and some leaders of the northern Nigerian state have come together to say that the next president must come from the North, giving the argument that Yaradua did not complete his term. So they have an additional one term to be served by the Northerners. Now, when I listen to them, honestly, they have a case. And that is why I'm saying that everything has to be on the ground of justice and equity. But as it is right now, we must have a case for everything. And one of the cases we must have right now is that the oil of the Niger Delta must solely belong to the Niger Delta people. We cannot have oil in the Niger Delta and we have destroyed the farmland of the people. We have destroyed their waterways because we are taking oil. They have no means of livelihood. Nothing is happening, no development. And yet, all the people that own oil well in Nigeria, they are from the north. But the oil that is being taken from Nigeria is from the south. I think we must be able to look at all of these things. Because the problem we have right now is a problem where the second group of kind of human beings are the ones who are leading Nigerians. I want you to take a listen one more time. I mean, they have established for us that the first group of people are the idiots, self-centered. They care only about themselves. They don't care about other people. Now we understand that. Okay? The second group, let's take a listen to the second group again. I just like to play it again.
In ancient Greece, For the Greek people, the people who in many ways gave us the modern civilized world. For the Greek people, the first kind of people in any given society are the idiots. But the Greeks also said that there is a second kind of people in any given society. And the Greeks called these people the tribes people. When we say tribes people, we don't necessarily mean the fact of belonging to a certain tribe, which is a good thing. But when they use the word tribes people, the Greeks meant a tribal and a tribalistic mentality. And the Greeks said that tribes people are those people who are not able to think beyond their small tribe or their small groups. For tribes people, their primary allegiance, their only allegiance, and their ultimate allegiance is to their tribe. Their tribe is their God, and their religion is tribalism. And tribes people, the Greeks said, are always afraid of things that are different, that are a little alien to them. They are always suspicious and fearful. And they always dealt with different people and difficult situations with intimidation, with force, and with violence.
I don't know if we truly see Buhari in this second group, the tribes people. I don't know if it truly. I see everything Buhari in tribes people. Dealing with people who are different, people who don't share the same philosophy with them, dealing with them with intimidation, with violence, with threats. That's what we're saying. These kind of people should never be in the corridors of power. But let's all take a listen for the last time to the third group of people. We have idiots, trash people. Let's look at the third group of people, the third kind of people we have.
For the Greeks, there was another kind of people, another kind of a person, and that was the ideal person. And the Greeks called this ideal person the citizen. The citizen. And here when we use the word citizen, we are not talking about legal status or political status. We are talking about the idea and the ideal of citizenship. And who is the citizen? The citizen, according to the Greeks, is someone who has the skills and the knowledge to live a public life, who is able to live a life of civility. The citizen recognizes that he or she is a member of a commonwealth and thus strives for the common good. That is the citizen. The citizen, yes, he or she knows his or her rights in a society. But he or she also knows his or her responsibilities to society. The citizen can fight for his rights, but always with an awareness of and with a respect for the rights and interests of others, of their neighbors, of the smallest of minorities, and of the worst of their enemies. And it is citizens, the Greeks said, that make up a civilized society. Because citizens settle their differences with civility. So they produce a civilized society. A society that truly lives up to the name, to the meaning of the name society. Society.
I am a citizen. I fall into that category. Are you a citizen? Because to change our society, we must assume the responsibility of being citizens. Many of us are not. Many of us are not. To stand up for Nigerians who are unjustly imprisoned and languishing in various prisons across the world, we must become citizens to do that. We must understand that there is a bigger responsibility outside of our individualistic ones that we must speak to. Are you a citizen? Are you a a citizen. Now, let us leave the wider Nigerian society. I want to tell you that for the thousands of Nigerians who live and wallow in prisons across Europe unjustly, I can tell you that a huge percentage of them are from Edo State. Which for me must give it, an additional impetus on why we as a people must join hands together to begin to speak out. I'm personally going to work very closely with Commissioner Ero on this particular subject. I know that it is something that he has taken up. He's married to, he's emotional about. He's very, what's it called, reasonably concerned about. And of course, I'm sure too, he has given his word to some of those guys he met in Italian prisons to say, look, when I'm able to come out, I will speak for you. I will be a voice for you. We must all join hands together with Ero. Let us be a voice to the voiceless who are wallowing in various prisons across the world. It's unfortunate. Ero, though, expressed hope that Nigerian government will come to the rescue of these Nigerians. But I don't have such hope. I don't have such confidence. Not in this era that we are in right now. But I think and I believe very strongly that if we come together as a people, there is no mountain we shall not be able to climb. So my people, Edo people and Nigerians, there is a big agenda that we must chase after. Because whatever effort we are able to put into this, whatever results the effort will yield, will add up to the value that people are equally going to put on us as a people. Today, as a Nigerian, you have no value. I mean, in quotes, as a Nigerian, as a matter of fact, you get to some places, you hold your Nigerian passport, it go heavy for your hand because it's a Nigerian passport. It will be heavy. Sometimes you will be ashamed to bring it out. And meanwhile, for some people who have the experience of enjoying dual nationality, okay, somebody, if you hold your British passport like this, you want bring a come out. In fact, you want quick bring a come out. Make them know something, you are British. I'm sure it is the same thing with the people who hold American passports and Canadian passports or European passports. But when you have to bring your Nigerian passport out anywhere, you go be like a stone that you carry. Why? Because there is no value. Because we have had a people govern us that have devalued us beyond we ever imagined before even coming into this world. Citizen. Are you a citizen? Anyhow, in the spirit of being citizens, I want to quickly make an announcement that by the grace of God, Edo State is going to be 30 years in August. And I'm aware that the government of Edo State has set up a committee to plan out an arrangement for this. For us, in the diaspora, I equally am aware that a lot is going on by the Edo diaspora communities. And a lot of people are coming together. They want to make this ground as grand as possible. You know, everybody's too many things to go into it. Too many. The plans are going on. As a matter of fact, from last week we started talking about this, and we're going to continue. On August 28th, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be our diaspora day. So we're going to have events across the world. But tomorrow, some of us are going to be with Uncle Sonny Rabo, on his program. Can I get that program? It's a radio program. We equally be live on Zoom. I'm sure that if technology permits, we may equally be live on the comedy show while the program is going on radio and all that. So, but I want to see what technology will allow us to do as far as that is concerned. But what I'm trying to say, in effect, is that the momentum is building up, towards August, where Edo State would have become 30 years since it was created in 1991. Again, for many of us, it's a time to evaluate where we are coming from, where we are, probably be able to fashion out where we hope to be in another 10, 15, 20 years time. Meanwhile, this is the logo for the celebration. Edo at 30, 1991 to 1921, celebrating the past and present, building the future. Okay, this is it. That's the logo that we are using to celebrate this. And so, if you are from Edo State, I will encourage you to put your ears on the ground, and of course, to be part of this process. It's for all Edo people. Let's celebrate our state. Let's put on that toga of citizenship, to celebrate, Edo State. Don't forget, if you are from Edo State, and of course some other regions around Edo State and beyond, we are the United, we are the citizens of the United Kingdom of Great Benin and all that before being Nigerians. And so it's time to take reflections, and look at where we are coming from, and of course celebrate where we are in the hope that tomorrow will be a better place. But most importantly, my people, based on the subject matter of today's topic, I want to encourage us, let us look at ourselves. Are we citizens? Are we citizens? And if the future of Nigeria must be bright, if the future of Edo State must be bright, we must look at individuals who are running for political office and find out if they are citizens, or they are tribes people, or they are idiots. These are the three groups of people we have, and I believe in it. On that note, my people, I want to say a very big thank you to those who joined us. I've seen a number of persons. Frank, I Warrior, thank you very much. Christian, I see you. Thank you for your comment. Yes, Arobonose Okokone, thank you very much. Helen Rabo, thank you so very much. I see you, man. I see you. I probably have a number of persons on Facebook watching. Please, what you can do for us is to share this broadcast. It's really one broadcast I want us to, to share. Let it go around. I really want that we open our mind to this, learn a bit more, from it, and see how it goes. But having said that, I just want to say thank you for joining. May God bless you. May God bless Edo State. May God bless Nigeria. And may God bless the people of Edo State and Nigeria. My name remains Comrade Lamtek Monsariahe, a very proud citizen of the United Kingdom of Great Benin. Bye for now.
On Facebook and YouTube. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the commercial.